Hello again. You join us for our final segment.
Ooh, I feel like there should be a fire here. That was like a fireside intro. That was, hello there, you join us. Oh, I think I was gonna chin chin. Smooth out your moustache there. We definitely need this wood burning stove at some point. We can have a fireside Chris segment.
Nice, wouldn't it? Hello, children.
With a little smoking jacket and a rug about your knees.
Sit on me knee.
Anyway, the final. This is a big un. This is.
Could be here all night.
Could be here all night.
Is tribalism getting worse for cars?
For cars. Thanks for that. Is tribal. I'm going to repeat that so people are not like, is this playing up? I'm not.
Shake the radio.
Shake the radio. Is tribalism getting worse?
Tribalism getting worse for cars.
For cars.
Yeah.
Now, you need to explain this to the viewers and listeners, I think.
I can explain it with a quote.
With a quote.
And I will quote the great Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, the most gentle of gentlemen.
He is. He's a proper car.
He is.
And if you don't know that,
you're not a proper car.
I don't want to start gatekeeping. But you should know that.
Yeah, he's crashed his McLaren F1 like 3 times now. That's a car fan.
I don't know how to do Rowan Atkinson's voice.
I don't know how to do
something
it.
Like.
You have to do the.
Because he's got an Atlantic BBC accent, hasn't he? And he has got a stutter. Not a stutter. Yeah, he's got a stutter.
Yeah, he's pronouncing B's. That's why.
Over B's.
Oh, what's his name?
Bob.
Yeah. Bob. That's why that's just so funny when he does it. And the Baldrick, because he's Anyway, do the quote. Do the quote. Okay.
I have a problem with Porsches. They're wonderful cars, but I know I could never live with one. Somehow, the typical Porsche people, and I wish them no ill, are not, I feel, my kind of people. I don't go around saying that Porsches are a pile of dung, but I do know that psychologically I could never handle owning one.
Well quoted.
It says it all, I reckon.
It says a measure of the man that he says pile of dung instead of pile of shit like the rest of us would. Yeah. What a pleasant man.
And I just think it sums it all up because it's his issue of tribalism and brandism.
Yeah.
And this kind of like, I say automotive, we do a joke about automotive racism, don't we?
Yes.
And I like these kind of cars and those kind of cars rubbish and everything they do is rubbish. And I hate it. I've always hated it so much.
Yeah.
It's like it's a major bugbear for me because I'm a man of eclectic tastes.
Absolutely.
I listen to very obscure and weird and diversified music. So I don't feel I need to be a metaler.
No.
Or a hip hop.
Or a raver.
Or a raver. Never a raver. I don't feel the need to live my life by it. I find that odd as a man who does a podcast about.
No, but you don't have to feel like you have to. This is about defining yourself, isn't it? It's that tight definition. Yeah, you don't feel like you need to define.
No, I don't feel that. Not by a brand.
No.
And I feel like this has been amplified by a surge of the normalization of being a car fan.
Yeah.
Like it used to be. Like I know that as a nation at least, or Western society or whatever, we all love cars. Everyone is really into cars. Really. But people defining themselves as car fans.
Yeah, it's kind of a different kettle of fish, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, being a petrol head used to be.
Yeah.
You were a bit geeky, a bit nerdy, and everything else. Now it's so normal to be into cars.
Yeah.
Like I will tell you, like the 0 to 60 of the new Ferrari type argument in a bar.
Yes.
Like it's coming from obscure people that I would never have.
Yeah.
And in some ways it's good.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot more women are getting into it.
Yeah.
Some great like women YouTubers and stuff like that who are really into cars, and it's probably still not very easy.
Yeah.
But that I love that that's happening.
Absolutely.
But I was wondering, like, at what point does someone become a car fan? Like,
that threshold.
Where's the line? Where you go from normal person to car bore.
Car bore.
You know what I mean? Like,
is it car fan stroke car bore? Are these two terms interchangeable throughout the whole thing?
It's a point, like where you're like, maybe you're in your 20s or you haven't grown up and you go to the pub all the time.
Yeah.
And like people are like, oh, we're talking about cars again, are we? You know what I mean? Like, people are like, can we stop talking about cars? Like, that, like, when do you cross that threshold?
Yeah. What's the catalyst for it as well?
Because I mean, I see, like, I consider myself a car fan. Like, I digest a lot of information. I consume a lot of media about it. I definitely like dwell on car stuff all the time.
Does that mean you also feel you are a car bore?
I'm definitely a car bore, no doubt. But I see couples who, like, the driveway is lined with like 3 hot hatches and private plates, and you know, they're all modified, or they're all part of clubs, and they go, you know, they go Donington track days, they go Santa Pod Raceway, they do all the parades, do the charity events, Instagram it the lot, you know. And like, I look at them and I'm like, well, they're proper. But then, you know, and this is, again, I don't want to talk about, like, make out it's gatekeeping. Well, then they couldn't change like a ball joint, or they don't know, you know, what a hemispherical, you know, combustion chamber is.
Do you think it's a difference between, like, maybe, and we've kind of, I mean, we can maybe say that you can see that change in sort of the boy racers that you see a bit now, that it's more about maybe the culture surrounding the cars than the cars themselves, you know what I mean? Like, you say all that sort of stuff, like, you know, you've got modified cars, but maybe they're just the entrance ticket to a culture that you like to be in, like the meets and going to, like, Santa Pod, and like, we've been stuff like that. And I'm a bit of an introvert anyway, so I'm like, I've been sort of in a car club when I started with my Triumphs. I could have happily not been in I could have just bought a Triumph.
I did more in your Triumph.
Yeah, that's true. I think you did, actually. Yeah, you did. But I could happily have a Triumph and not be in a club and still be into the car, but not need that element to it. And I think maybe that's what's different. Maybe now there are such big car culture events around it. And I think, I'm sure you're going to go on to mention at some point, and you talked about Top Gear when we talked about this before. And that's like a cultural thing, isn't it? Rather than, you know, that's something you can...
It's a phenomenon. We can talk about Top Gear.
You can sit down and watch of a night. And like you say, you don't have to know anything about cars, but you can have this camaraderie with everybody who watches Top Gear, and maybe it's
I mean,
bit like that, I don't know.
Top Gear definitely... it was definitely key to making cars acceptable and, you know, a zeitgeist. And...
Well, I mean, Clarkson's
cool to like cars.
Yeah, and I think Clarkson seems to be, or at least the persona of him seems to be very, I don't know how this works, and that's stupid to know how it works.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's
in contrast to a James May, who seems to
the hypocrisy,
absolutely adore
the hypocrisy. I don't want to start ranting about Top Gear, but the hypocrisy, and they definitely downplayed the grubby nuts and bolts stuff in Top Gear. They definitely did that. They definitely avoided it. They definitely made out the, you know,
talks.
James May
like
didn't care about performance.
Yeah.
And Richard Hammond just like quirky things.
Yeah.
And that, you know, Clarkson was just like, I don't understand mechanics.
Yeah.
You look at any interview with them when they start talking to car people, and all suddenly the encyclopedic knowledge comes out and what they're doing and everything else. And we all know that May and Hammond are, you know, obsessively are working on projects. So it was definitely played down, but it also, it did basically say, because I've been wondering if this has been a big boundary in the past, is like, you had to kind of like, even if you didn't do the work yourself, you had to like take it to a tinkerer, didn't you? You know what I mean? And talk car stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now,
that's true as well.
You can be like a massive car fan, never open the bonnet other than to, or maybe you buy your designer oil.
Yeah.
You know, because
£40 a litre stuff.
The market's definitely, you know, sort of gone to get your performance washer fluid, and you
do you think we should start Men in Shed's artisanal oil products? Quite like this idea. Could make millions off this.
Fermented by ourselves, drilled out of this under this very tap.
And you know how it's like, you know, they have the coffees that like it's made from coffee beans that are like pooed out of a monkey. Yeah. Maybe we could just like run oil through your Jeep.
Yeah, well, it's already
doing that anyway. Just put a pan, that's it, and then just sell it on afterwards.
I've not thought about that. And shat out the bottom of Jeep.
Of a pure American V8. Anyway, we digress.
V8.
V8, yeah.
Yeah, someone's already got that for drinks, haven't they?
Yeah,
You can't really
yeah.
hate that. But yeah, I do think because now, like, you can be a car fan, you can be like you can pride yourself as like a car nut. Like, I know people have come back to me and they've gone, I met a proper car nut last night.
Yeah.
Proper car nut.
Proper.
And you were just talking about cars and like, but they still just take it for servicing at a local dealer.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like saying, I don't want to gatekeep on this. I'm just saying, do you think it's... this is where the boundary of defining a car fan is?
Yeah. Do you think that's something that's naturally? I mean, I know in certain cases we're talking about people who are as old, if not older than us, so would have been around when I talk about what I'm going to talk about. But do you think it's part of its natural change in terms of, like, definitely when I was 17, 18, and you were saying, you know, you're getting cheap bangers, you're getting, like, one of our dear friends had like a Panda 4x4, didn't he? As like one of
Two of my friends had Pandas.
Pandas in general, yeah. And then, like, you know, I had a Triumph Spitfire, which sounds fancy on paper, but it was like, it was shagged, it was properly broke. But now, like, a 17, 18-year-old is just going into a leased Corsa, aren't they? Or a little C1, or...
Yeah, they're definitely corralled.
Yeah, and so, like, naturally you're getting cars that aren't necessarily maybe new, nearly new, or, you know, and obviously we've also reached a point, I guess, mechanically where stuff doesn't break, like, and rust and die like it used to.
You're not wax oiling.
Yeah, so maybe, like, that's it. You know, you're picking up a C1 that's maybe 5 years old, but actually mechanically it's all right. Maybe you don't have to... Whereas, to some extent, if you were into cars and you kind of wanted an interesting car, you had no choice but to get dirty and get into the car and fix stuff. And maybe now you can not have to. You can be into cars, but just buy a normal car, the car that doesn't break. You don't have to do that sort of stuff.
My first car was a Mini, and then my sister drove that when she passed her test. And you know, my sister's this, you know, kind of slight blonde, you know, typically, you know, of what you define as Barbie-like, you know, not in her attitude but her appearance. And I mean,
she's a lot.
You know, she had to learn how to use a choke. And you have your washer jets freeze up and clean your headlights halfway through a journey. And I remember vividly pulling into our street and to see her walking up, and she got the battery out, you know, fetched out herself to charge up, because obviously because she had to learn how to jump start and bump start things as well. And I think that
it's a barrier to entry almost, isn't it, really? Like, you've got to know a bit.
Well, I don't like it because of the gatekeeping.
I don't mean like a barrier to entry into car fannery.
But
I mean, like if you wanted a Mini, if you thought Minis were cool, you kind of couldn't have a Mini and not know a bit, could you? Because, like you say, they were just breaking down on you all the time, or just, you had to kind of, whether you liked it or not, maybe. And maybe that's the choice. Maybe some people would rather not now, and in fact you can get cars that don't break down and batteries die and drain and freeze up on the inside.
And people know other things, like people know about, I mean, a lot of, a sort of area of car fannery that I've never really been comfortable with or been interested with is the quoting of performance figures of like supercars. I've never understand why people play top trumps on it, because it doesn't. You don't own it. You don't. Just because you sit there and you go, "Oh, they're Ferrari,
I know this."
Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't get it. I don't get.
It just means you got a brain that can remember these things. I can't.
And people have always done that, but I think there's a big focus on that now. I think Jeremy chatting about. I don't know.
I've been asked how much power cars have had before, and like they've owned, and genuinely been like, I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell you.
Or like 63 horsepower. I'm not bothered because it's not gonna sort of, you know, light up any.
Is it just cars are getting caught up in the world of branding now? I think everything's a brand now. Absolutely, everything is a brand, and like
modifying cars is a brand now, more than ever.
And we have a habit of rooting ourselves in, don't we, as human beings? It's a bit sad. And it's like, it's circumstantial. It's not like we take circumstantial situations and we decide that that's our being. That was intentional. That was never just a circumstantial thing. That was just like, oh, this is who I am. I've always Vauxhalls.
Like, that's it.
It's a young child.
That's it. You buy a Civic, and all of a sudden, Civics are the best car.
Yeah.
They just are. Like, they're the most practical. They off-road the best. You know,
It is.
it's that
like
kind of
first
delusion.
phone you
Yeah.
get, you know, you go to IKEA to get your furniture. I
Yeah.
buy my furniture from IKEA.
Yeah.
Like it just.
Why would you go anywhere else? Yeah.
It becomes. I just wonder if if it isn't that cars have changed, it's just the world has changed, and we've changed, and that's affected cars in a way. It's transitioned into the car.
Yeah,
world.
because that's true. Because whether you like it or not, most of these car brands or these car companies have been around for a long time, and they have a massive heritage, a massive cachet behind each brand. It's not like a flash in the pan or fly by night brand that's just appeared and there's a bit of a ooh about it. Whether they pushed it or not, whether car companies wanted to become big brands or not, I guess like when you're 100 years old and you've been producing these things for 100 years and a vast majority of the population own them, you are going to be a brand, aren't you? Whether you like it or not, like you are going to become one.
Well,
in this world, like you say, in this world that we are now.
So you've got brands like manufacturer brands.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
Like that's that's inevitable. If you make products and sell them under a
That's
name,
what I mean,
you will become a brand. You've got model tribalism.
Yeah.
So you've got this thing of like, well, I like AMG Mercedes, I like VXR, I like RS. I mean, even like in the Ford scene, there was a big fucking line between XR ownership and RS ownership.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, true.
Like, the level of denialism.
Yeah.
As someone who had an XR that was turbocharged.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean you're welcomed in the RS scene,
Yeah.
and that still means a guy with an RS 1600i will tell you that his car is faster than yours, regardless, because it just has RS on.
Because it's an RS
But
badge.
honestly, it's scary.
Yeah.
So you get that, but also you get this club branding now, and that is very new.
Yeah.
That is very forced. I mean, there's two here.
Yeah.
And we live in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah, you kind of, it's a big thing when it's here, when it's arrived.
Honestly, we are bumfuck nowhere, back end redneckville of the potteries, and there's two car groups in the area who try to pass themselves off like the Orange County Chopper or something.
Yeah.
They're already like Jesse James.
I think that's, that very modern, I really struggle. I know we talked a bit about it before off camera. But I really struggle with it because I'm not seeing what's behind it at all. I'm seeing the brand as the start and end of the thing.
And they sell.
Yeah,
brand
like you can have
items.
merchandise and stuff, and it's like
that's what they do now.
But that's it. Like that's the start and the end of it. And it's like you don't have a garage, so you're not like a.
Don't build cars.
You don't build anything. No. You don't.
Maybe one of the people in the club, two of the people have like cars modified. Maybe it's known. Maybe they've got like separate Instagram account for it and people follow that. It's a bit of that. But I'm driving around. There's people with these stickers in like not like they're not fucking car fan cars.
No.
They're just like courses, like standard courses, a standard ride out like a chrome tip exhaust, and then they've got this stuff plastered up the side of it.
It's a lifestyle thing, isn't it?
It's what fucking lifestyle
I don't
is it?
know.
You're just driving around with the rest of us. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Vaping?
Yeah.
At JCB Lake?
I know.
What are you doing?
I don't get it in terms of like, and when you start to sell merch, it's like, what you're saying there is you're going to sell something so that someone can lock into that lifestyle.
And they're not going to give a shit.
But it's a lifestyle of nothing. It is a lifestyle of complete vacuousness. It doesn't mean anything. You're not buying into anything.
No.
You've now just got the same keyring as that guy's got.
Fucking lanyard.
Yeah, I know.
Why would I buy a lanyard?
And hoodies. Like a hoodie for a company, but it's not a company. It's just a brand. And it just doesn't do anything.
Mean anything. It's just.
I think that definitely is where we've gone with it now. Like you say, it's the absolute sort of the pinnacle of what this brand is and means now. To make a brand that has no other reason than to be a brand.
That has nothing to do with cars.
Yeah, no, that's it.
It has nothing to do with
anything,
because
does it? It has nothing to do with anything
born
other than
from cars.
Yeah.
It is just born from people in a tribe. That's what it's like. We are a tribe of people.
Yeah.
We're going to give it a name. we're gonna stickers on stuff, and that's also that defines us. That's what
Yeah.
we do. That's what we do for
and
cars.
try and sort of recruit people to this tribe, even though the tribe is just a group
People
of mates.
buy into
Yeah,
it. It's not
yeah,
like...
that's true. Not even recruit, but actually spend your money to be in this group that is. Put it this way: 10 years ago, would you have paid to join that group of people who are sitting on a park bench in your local town? No.
No.
Because I'm not even going to say, would you have paid to join that group of people parked up in a car park in their cars?
Because that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but like you say, the cars are so inconsequential to it that it is actually more like just paying to be in a group that you stumble across in the middle of nowhere. Because
the thing is, like, okay, so we're going to dwell on this a little bit and get a bit angry.
So, ranty.
So, like, you joined a model-specific club
Yeah.
because of parts availability, of knowledge,
Yeah.
of meats,
yeah,
and sometimes you got discount on
Yeah,
stuff as a
yeah,
result.
yeah.
You all got together at a show, which I think
Yeah.
some of these people do. They do
Yeah.
get together at shows and stuff like that, and that kind of made sense.
yeah,
And then we started to get like these kind of new brands. So I remember like Tramp Drift.
yeah.
That was a big, like, people bought Tramp Drift stickers and they weren't Tramp Drifters, but they
Yeah.
loved that concept of taking old Volvos,
Yeah.
Sierras and 3 Series BMWs and just drifting it around
Welding
the streets on
discs
some,
and
like
that's
your
it,
Lincoln
yeah,
Lockers and bald old shitty tyres
Yeah.
and doing that. And I get that. I get why, because that's rebellious. That's like hot rod culture. That's, it's about it says something about what you do to the cars and how you behave with the cars. So hot rod culture was basically, we've come back from World War II.
Yeah.
You've got no respect for us. Fuck all you guys.
Yeah.
You've got no money. So we're just going to buy old, A model Fords and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Use our engineering skills to modify and stick a fucking iron cross on the side of it, just rub your nose in it, and it's Hell's Angels for cars, isn't it?
But, okay, so I get what you're saying, but in that context, like, the hot rodders, they just, and this is something that I find, this is personally I think how I work a bit, like, they just modified their car how they wanted, didn't they? And it might sort of adhere to some loose sort of cultural significance.
I think there was a lot of cultural.
Yeah, that kind of, but what I'm saying is they might have done it, but they didn't, what I'm saying, I guess what I'm saying is I might be wrong here. They didn't all brand themselves the Hot Rod Club, and they were all the same. Like they were all identified. They might loosely identify.
Oh no.
And I think that's the thing now. It's like you say, Tramp Drift. Like this is what I find like the idea of something like Tramp Drift is really cool, but once you define it as Tramp Drift and you have stickers, you've made a barrier, haven't you? You've put a fence round it, and you've said, a Volvo with a welded diff is a Tramp Drift, but no, your Granada with a welded is not a Tramp Drift because it's not a Volvo or a Sierra and it's a bit like we saw one recently, and it was I can't remember but it was something like rusty muscle cars, wasn't it? And it was like this guy didn't like the idea of the pro touring thing in America where it's just like money, and it's true. There's huge money in this kind of thing now, and they're making show cars, and it's just the incredible level of detail. And he's like, I've got a rusty muscle car. Why isn't that I like this? And I think that's really cool. Like, this is my thing, and I like it. But then it's like, then you emblazon it on t-shirts, and then you start to define what is a rusty muscle car.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, your car isn't rusty enough yet. You've got to patina it, or like, you've got a car that, in essence, is the same as this first guy. Sort of like, I have this car, it's all I can afford, and I like it, and I can't afford to do it up. But because it doesn't fit the rusty muscle car aesthetic or the group, you're not allowed in. And I think it's that.
Or you're in.
Or you
because your car fits.
Yeah, even if you're not. But
you're not really into it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one you see quite a lot.
You want to be in a group, and you like the group thing.
But because the car you have, because like let's say you've got a rusty muscle car, and all you can't resto mod it, but you've bought some, I don't know, some nice new Thrustmaster wheels for it.
True.
So it sits nice,
Yeah.
and then you go, well, I'm rat rod.
Yeah.
I'm rat rod.
Yeah, I'm rat
I'm
rodding
rat rod.
this.
I'm
I'm
rat rod.
doing
That's how I
it.
like it. That's how I
Yeah.
like it. Rat
Yeah.
rod. And it's like, well, is it? Or is it you just
Yeah.
can't afford to do a full resto mod?
Exactly, yeah, totally, yeah. What would you actually like to do, yeah? And I think that's what I mean, like the original Tramp Drifters, that's just what they wanted to do. They
I
just-
think it was. I think it was about. I think it was
Yeah.
anti-culture.
Yeah.
And you know, thinking about this tribalism and cars and gangs and stuff. I mean, I feel like I go into a lowrider show.
Yeah.
That teaches you about
Yeah,
what
true.
a fucking tribe is like.
Yeah,
Jesus
true.
Christ. I mean, Jesus. I mean, you go to a bloody lowrider show
If you can,
and you
in your local town.
and you chat to some of the Hispanic groups and talk to them about tribalism and having to be part of a group and what
Yeah.
that really means.
Yeah.
And what that really entails and the risks and the lifestyle that comes with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you decide about just because a few of you hang out together on a particular car park.
You're
that
now a tribe.
That somehow earns you some kind of
Yeah.
turf.
Yeah.
As if you played some kind of war game. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's like Bloods and Crips
Yeah.
with lowriders.
Yeah, totally.
It's serious. It's fucking, you nail your colours to the mast with
Yeah.
that.
Well, we say, we talked about like the you could say the Yakuza in Japan, there's a definite and Busazoku culture and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that is like, that's brutal. You don't want to be in that tribe, to be quite frank. I mean, it's, there's a lot of sort of glorification of it now and the cool styles that came out of it, and it's very cool, but there's a nasty, really not pleasant side to it, the same kind of thing. So I think it's, I find it, again, not to be all, I find it difficult because I'm not like a groupie person.
No, you're a tinkerer, aren't you?
Yeah, and I don't...
solitary
yeah.
tinkerer.
But I think there is a lot of this groupiness, like liking to be in a group. Just like the group is the thing, and if you just happen to have, and that you can, I guess what it is in some respects, you could say now you can buy your way in with it, like you say, a certain brand or
You
model
always
car.
couldn't you?
Yeah.
And that's frowned upon as well. Like people
Yeah.
get funny about, but it is about belonging. It is about
Yeah.
acceptance.
Yeah.
And it is about basically drawing up a new rule sheet about what is cool, what is accepted,
Yeah.
what is the best, isn't
Yeah.
it? And it's a very bad. I think it's a very bad way to define yourself in your life. It's unhealthy.
Definitely.
But it is this idea of, I'm going to draw this new framework of,
Yeah.
of cool and what's right. I'm going to pigeonhole everything.
And which amazingly, just by happenstance, happens to perfectly fit the lifestyle, cars, money,
Yeah.
things I like. It just happens to sort of fit neatly
Yeah.
around those. Isn't that magic?
There isn't the aspires to buy a Ferrari club, but there's plenty
No,
of,
yeah.
because Micro Club
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
absolutely,
There's plenty
yeah.
of that. And you see it, I mean, I'm bad for it because, I mock Land Rovers and stuff like that. And I do that because Land Rovers mock Jeeps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I would much rather be in a club with everybody
Yeah.
than to just be in this jerk circle.
Yeah, totally.
This echo chamber of, because I was at, so not 4x4, going back to the Ford scene.
Yeah.
I had an XR 4x4 turbo because
Yeah.
it was 2.8 litres and turbocharged.
Yeah.
That's dead cool.
Because-
And I suddenly went from Vauxhall to Ford. But
Yeah.
I ended up joining the club.
Yeah.
Did a performance Ford
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
So we're at Brunters.
Yeah.
And this guy was
Must get
there.
help somewhere on here.
And he was in one of the very early, E40s or something, BMWs,
Yeah.
the early M3.
Yeah. E30.
And he was
E30,
basically just drifting this thing around Bruntingthorpe.
Yeah.
I don't know why or for whatever, but it was like back when you didn't see much drifting.
Yeah, yeah, true.
And he was doing it proper, because he comes absolutely, tear-arsing out onto the edge.
Yeah,
It
the
was
main-
bloody
yeah.
best, and he starts going down the edge.
Yeah, doing the...
And one of the guys from the club comes up and he goes to me, "What a prat." Like that. And it was purely because he was
Because
in a
it's a bit,
BMW and we were in Fords. That's
Yeah.
all it was about.
Yeah.
And all this guy ever talked about when he was on the forum was how he'd shown a BMW up round a roundabout. It's like,
Yeah.
you haven't. You just live in a bubble, jerk circle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
echo
everyone's patting him on the
chamber.
back because that's
And
it,
you
yeah.
do, and
Yeah.
you get it. And I would much rather go, because the thing is, you mix it up a bit, and you see different things. You open your eyes
Yeah.
to things that actually are more you,
Yeah, totally, yeah.
rather than living in denial and just
Yeah.
deciding that the Clio Sport of some,
Yeah.
of some obscure numbering system
Yeah.
is like you. I
Is-
mean, there's even like in the Land Rover scene, you can be like the G4 Land Rovers club just
Yeah.
for the orange ones.
Yeah.
Ours are painted orange, they're better. Like, it's that kind of like.
Well, you said, haven't you, in the Jeep thing, there's this constant hierarchy of like, is it a Jeep? Is it? I mean, obviously they're all Jeeps
7 slat grills.
Yeah.
Oh crikey!
But like, you've got to have
round lights versus square lights,
Yeah.
springs versus coil springs versus leaf springs.
Yeah. So it never ends. That's the other thing, isn't it? It never ends because you can get in a Jeep club and be like, oh, I'm in a Jeep club, and all of a sudden, you at some point very soon you'll get the beat down from someone who tells you you are not. I mean, definitely, and we can maybe, because I'm going to talk about something else, but not something related. I don't mean talk about something else because it's boring. What I was saying is, like, when I was in Triumph Club, like, I owned a soft top Triumph. There were also Triumph TRs with soft tops, but I was not a Triumph owner in that regard. You know, Spitfires were the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
Same with the GT6. You know, it was like, that's the low rung, then maybe the Stag above that, and then you have your TRs. And that's how it works. And there's a lot of, like, maybe talk about this later, but when I was in it, which is quite a while ago now, 10 odd years ago, something like that, you know, there was the higher, you wouldn't get a wave off a TR. You both tried.
Well, I was going to talk about
it.
this.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks that they have this wave thing. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Mini, because when I first got my Mini, I had the Mini wave, and bloody fucking
Just
ignore
like
it.
all
if
the
you
time,
didn't
yeah,
wave,
yeah.
Jesus,
Yeah.
I had a girl stick her fingers up at me once.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is serious.
I was like going along with your no Jippo, driving.
Of course. Barely seeing over the dashboard, yeah.
And going along, and like, just like, looking, trying to
really?
get it for me.
That's
It's like,
right.
going over in front, what's going on?
Wind the
Jip?
window down, out the window.
And he's like,
quick
she's not sitting, stuck her fingers up at us. Like, he was like,
Yeah.
you've messed up now.
Yeah.
And
Your name's Mud.
But the funny thing is, Jeep owners think, they call it the Jeep Wave.
Yeah, Jeeper Wave, yeah.
And it's like, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
it's
just-
not special to you.
No, I've seen smart cars
Yeah.
wave at each other. I've seen, it's bizarre, isn't it? This kind of.
And
These
it,
little-
and I tell you, I hate it. I hate that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like smug little wave you do to each other. Oh, we bought the same vehicle. We bought so fucking what you do in the supermarket. You both got brand plates.
Yeah.
So you're both just like
Yeah,
high five
As you
each
pass,
other. as
yeah,
you're
you
going
pass
down
each
the
other
aisle.
in the trolley and you're like,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, all right, you.
Yeah.
It's like I don't
The
get it.
Allendale Waves, yeah.
The funny one, and my wife, her family, they've got a funny one. Her dad's got a funny one that they do. When they buy a new car and they see the other car, if it's a bit like the model up, they go, rich they are, and if it's the model down, poor they are.
they are.
And actually, that was quite funny. I quite like that one, rather than just doing this.
That's
kind of-
slightly, self-deprecating, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, you
but-
get people coming up talking to you, like trying to, associate with you or something, because you got this fucking car as you. I don't care. Doesn't mean I like you.
And I think maybe that goes back to, like, I think there's an element in there maybe that's captures the 50s and maybe back in the day when, like, buying a car was a big. I'm not saying it's not a big deal now, but like you were like having a telephone back in the day.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's it. If you see someone with another iPhone, I do. I mean, it's like they're just so ubiquitous. Everybody has them. It's like you're not really that special anymore. There's so many of them out there. You just happen to, you're not buying this sort of Veblen good or this incredibly, like, if you saw one, you'd be like, holy shit, someone else has bought
There are
that.
people
just-
like who form tribes
Yeah.
because their hot hatchback got a different sticker set.
And I was going to say, this is
someone
this is
else's.
it. Like, you get to the point where it is so common, and you have to create these incredibly silly niches where you can only wave at other Cleo Williamses, maybe, or
Minis at it,
Yes,
Mini 30
yeah,
Club,
yeah,
Mini
all this
Monte
sort of
Carlo
stuff.
Club.
And it's like
You
you're
just got
buying a mass-produced thing. You
different
just get
stickers.
stamped out in a factory, like toasters and fridges and washing machines. I know we put a lot into it, and I put a lot into my cars, but you can't run from the fact that they are mass-produced things.
Yeah.
It's not that special.
So
Yeah.
you made an excellent point.
Yeah, not that we've actually cleared that up at all.
I don't
This
think we'll
is-
ever,
I don't think we'll
come
ever.
back to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I've got some more tea before we can do that.
But yeah,
In the classic world,
yeah, tribalism seems maybe to be falling apart a bit and disappearing, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah.
Like I say, when I owned a Spitfire, there was the hierarchy in there, and you waved at certain people. I just waved at everybody and just I don't care, sorry. But I've got a Triumph. But it's whatever really. But there was a lot of that, and I think you were well defined in your little sort of and certainly other marques didn't wave at other marques just because they were classics. I mean, it's like, well, it's just like you wouldn't wave at the Vauxhall Viva when you're in a trial. Why would you do that?
Thumbs up, make a thumbs up
Yeah,
if you like their car.
Yeah, that's it. You might. Yeah, I would, but I
Have you
think.
ever done that to like someone who like they aren't in the same car as you? I did that. I saw a Plymouth Duster.
Yeah.
It made me fall in love with the Duster a bit. Drive up the
Yeah.
middle lane
Nice.
of the M6, and I was in my XR4i.
Yeah.
And we come back from Retro Car Show, and we'd come from the same show, so
Yeah.
I roar up the side of the third line, and I look on and go like that.
Yeah.
And he looks at me like, like
That's a shame because take
I'm
it
like,
as it's intended. It's
we've
like.
come from the same
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. I just like your car.
Now
It's
we're out
like-
in public.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, I've done it. I did it. I told you the other day, didn't I? I was coming back from walking the dog, going down the lanes, and had to pull out, or rather, had to squeeze past a guy in an SJ, Suzuki SJ. And I wound my window down and went, "Love that!" And he kind of looked at me for a second, and he went, "He's like, oh, thanks." And I was like, "Why? Why isn't that a thing? Like, this is the thing. Just on an aside, why isn't that a thing? Why isn't it? It doesn't matter what car it is. If you like it, tell him you like it. Not in an obsessively sort of." Oh, I like that. Can I come and be your friend? Oh, can I have your number? I'd like to come and see that car another day.
Can I sit in your car?
Can I sit
please?
in your car? You don't have to do that, but like, just be like, you know. I remember it was slightly embarrassing when I had the Jag, I think it was, parked up at a petrol station and nonchalantly filling my Jag because you can only nonchalantly fill your Jag
That's
with
the
a
best
cigar.
part of having
Yeah.
a Jag. You got a Jag.
The Jag, filling the
my
Jag. I was just like looking around, and there's a guy in a PT Cruiser, and it was one of those PT Cruisers where they just like got the chrome gun and gone up the side of it. And he looks across and he goes, "I like your car," and I'm like, "Shit," and I'm like, "What unusual yours is."
It's very interesting.
Very interesting. Because, like, what do you say? And there's a certain amount of politeness about it.
Yeah.
But I kind of like just that kind of, like your car. That's a nice thing. It makes you warm and fuzzy inside. But anyway, that side.
You get that with certain types of car.
Yeah, that's true. You do.
You do.
But the classic thing. So I think this is interesting because I think the tribalism in classic cars is maybe dissipating a little bit now. And I think maybe it's because on one side, like, we've got to a point now where old cars are just old to most people, aren't they? In a
Exactly.
lovely, nostalgic way, not in a nasty,
They're
like,
blur.
that's a shitty old car. It's like
Yeah.
a Mini, a 2CV,
Yeah.
Land Rover Series 1. They're just all old cars.
They're just like a bed of flowers.
Yeah, to normal people, it's like there's no differentiation between. They're just old, and they're nice old. They're nice old. So I think there's a camaraderie from the rest of the world is kind of making you one big group, whether you like it or not. You know.
I could drive my Mini through
Yeah.
town like an absolute arsehole.
Yeah. People
and
still-
grannies would beam.
Yeah, people
Beam.
still smile
I
at you.
remember this model.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
And I think
I'll tell
that's-
you a story.
And I think that's really important because I think that's rubbed off now along. Not, I mean, Minis were like the focus of that, but you're getting to a point now where just old cars. It's just they're old. Oh, I remember them. Or wouldn't it have been amazing to see them when they were new and all this sort of stuff. And I think also there's certainly maybe there's actually like an acceptance now that with old cars, you've just been left behind now. You've properly been left behind. The technological leaps, like we were talking about earlier, you know, about like panel gaps and, you know, I mean, there's cars that just have to people have to nurse cars into life at the weekend. And other people who are leaving their Lexus or their Audi for 6 months while they go away, getting home and just firing it up and driving away. We're so left behind. And now, especially, I think, now EV is coming at hybrids. Diesel and all that, you know, we're so far away from that. The kind of that classic is so far behind that it does put you in a little group of your own now. And so it's been interesting. Like this summer, we've been out in my beautiful WAFs,
Beautiful WAF.
Mini, and I remember
Beautiful
beautiful Mini, coming back from just kind of a trip out one day in the sun, past a group of Trabant owners. Now you can't really, I would say that's quite an extreme. Mini and Trabant. I mean, they're not on the same. Well, no, actually, they are on the same spectrum because they're kind of cars for the people. But
Yeah, but I mean, Trabant.
proper, that's hardcore. I mean, I was like,
You're always
bloody
waving
hell.
up, aren't you?
Yeah.
In a Trabant.
Exactly.
You're not waving down at anybody.
Yeah, exactly. But what was really nice was we were all waving, and like it was just a sort of hello. You're in a classic car out on a sunny day, so are we. And I think you maybe wouldn't have had that 10 years ago. I think maybe
you're
there'd have
right.
been a lot of like, that's especially a Trabant, like you say. They'd be like,
that's it.
Jesus, I'm not waving it. I'm not associating myself with that.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think you just do, because they're just a little. I want to say endangered species, but that means like you're being persecuted. I don't mean that. They're not being persecuted, but is the camaraderie based around that, and I think I'm hoping that that's true, and I'm hoping that there's it's becoming more open. And it doesn't matter what kind of, you thump down the road in a massive classic American V8 and wave at a little Mini or a Trabant, and it's just, we're just, we're marking time now, because, we're going to have to EV all these soon, we just kind of wave at each other, and I think it's just nice. It's just nice. I hope it's like that, because that makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
I like camaraderie. That kind of brings us full circle. I think one of the local groups down here, Cars and Company.
Yeah.
I like their
Yeah.
kind of modus operandi, which is we're all car fans.
Yeah.
Let's just be friends with it.
Yeah.
And I'd like it if we all just like I guess in a way, if for something like that to exist proves that maybe something's wrong, because shouldn't that be the default? Shouldn't that be the norm?
Yeah, you shouldn't have to shouldn't have to make a brand to have that with that connotation. Yeah, you should
Like
just
that's our USP.
Yeah, is that we're nice to everyone.
Like we're all friends and we like cars.
Yeah.
Like that should just be like. Firstly, everyone should just be friends.
Yeah,
that's a nice way to live. Let's all just be friends with each other. That's nice.
Friends.
But also, like if someone's into cars, like because you never know, like where someone's going to go with it, or what they want to do, or how it's going to affect their life, and you have to kind of just respect the differences.
Yeah.
And you have to hold back on your opinions.
Yeah.
Definitely have to quell your negativity about it. I mean, we come across as a bit negative sometimes.
Yeah,
we don't
but
mean
like,
to, because we just love cars and we love car people.
That's it.
But
I mean,
sometimes the madness of what's going on we struggle with, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, I've been definitely, one of the interesting things about like sort of boy racer culture, I guess, is we've said it before, the standard of the vehicles has gone up a lot. I mean, not necessarily in the types. I mean, like now it's maybe the actual vehicles themselves mechanically aren't that exciting. They're all diesel Vectras and diesel Astras. Whereas back in the day, like your aspiration would have been an RS turbo or something, or
and you'd put like 17-inch wheels on, and you'd be like, like you had to maybe like roll your arches a bit.
Yeah.
Just pinch them.
Yeah.
Like these guys, they're like the stuff.
I mean, they're bagging them, and they've got it and stanced and all that sort of, and like. Whereas I might be more in the former camp, whereas I would want the mechanically fast thing, possibly without the dodgy period mods on there of like horrendous alloy wheels or whatever. But even though I'm like that, and even though the really gruff, irritating diesels are just make my teeth itch, I can't walk past some of these cars and just be, what a swat, because the level of detail that they've gone into these and the level of fit and finish that they're doing on these cars, you have to be impressed with them. Even if you're not into that scene, you have to be. It's like we talked about Stance, wasn't it? When we talked about Stance a few weeks ago.
Oh, right. You can't be half into Stance.
No, and it's like you can't. Maybe if you don't like Stance stuff, you can't. It's wrong to be like, what a load of bullshit. You've got to still respect.
Oh yeah, you have to respect
that
it.
workmanship that's gone into
Absolutely.
it, even if what it's gone into you don't like. Really.
Yeah, I see. Types of car culture that I'm just like I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't want to be anywhere near it.
Yeah.
But you respect it and you just go, that's people what they are doing.
Yeah, and I think that's part of being open and understanding that everybody's different. And that's
love,
the other thing.
Big rig culture. I love American trucks. I watch all the big rig videos on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
I drive a big rig. I'm not going to have a big rig over here, but I absolutely love it. And they're very different people to who I am. They've got a very different culture, but absolutely respect them so much.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Whereas, like we're saying, the absolute opposite of that is I can't afford a big rig. I don't have an LGV license or HGV license. Therefore, I'm going to hate it. I don't live in America. Therefore, I'm going to hate them.
Just Euro
off the bat, just
cam over engine so much better.
Yeah,
Scania V8.
Yeah,
best truck in the world.
Yeah. What do you have to drive? Scania V8. Oh, okay then. Yeah. So just be open, be friendly. If it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to be sycophantic, but you also don't have to be a twat either.
Don't create boundaries. Don't create boundaries. And you know what this makes me realise? sat here talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what was so brilliant about car cruises.
Yeah.
Maybe that was what it was all about, really.
Yeah. That opened your eyes to there was always something different, maybe, and it was
just
eclectic.
everyone getting together.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, some people were doing this and some people were doing that, and that was so amazing. And you know what, like, Fast and Furious never showed this, because Fast and Furious, because it was created by an art department, first and foremost, and then the car builders had to build to match that. Like, I don't think they really showed the different areas of the culture. It was just like everyone likes Asian girls in short skirts and cars covered in graphics that shoot flames. Like that. That was like it. Like, even if you were like the closest they got was muscle cars versus Japanese cars in Tokyo, not Tokyo Drift. Fast and Furious. I don't know.
Too
Fast,
Too Furious. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't that? No. Too Fast.
I think Too Fast, Too Furious was the one with the muscle cars in.
Yeah. And I suppose what's his face in the first one does a bit of a race with his Charger, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, there's that, but it's not seen as a differentiation. Like they don't go like when they first go to like the big car meet for the racing.
Yeah.
Like by the stadium.
True. Yeah, they're all the same.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really see all that, and I think that's a shame because like when you went to a car cruise, at least when I went to car cruises, you would have the dubs.
Yeah.
And they would be a certain way.
Yeah.
And you'd have the hot hatches and stuff, and then you'd have like the old school Fords.
Yeah, and some minis dotted about maybe.
Minis and imps and all these things, and they were all doing like their own little sort of mods that they did. They had their own little formula in a way. And I'm not a formulaic person myself, but you saw it in a way, you know, overall. You got a picture for it.
I think you're right, and I think because it's a car cruise and it does all those elements just naturally, okay, the car cruise might be made up of different elements, but as a whole, like I say, it's very eclectic. Whereas, and this is not to criticise what someone like, you know, the group like Cars and Company doing, but like, that's it, the car cruise doesn't define itself with a brand or anything, because I think sometimes brands can be by themselves off-putting. Like if you see Cars and Company,
you're either in or out.
Yeah, and so it's like, unless you look a bit deeper and go, oh, okay, they've actually got all different cars and they're all done in different styles, so probably everybody's welcome.
And they're nice, friendly lads.
Yeah, that's it. You know,
you tell hello to them and
that's
stuff.
it. You know, but you maybe.
But when you're on the outside,
yeah, you're a bit like, am I invited in that? Am I part of that? Am I?
Like, at what point do you become accepted? Is there an initiation ceremony?
Yeah.
Is it when you get a sticker on your?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Do you want a sticker on?
Whereas
your
you just turn up at a car cruise, and if you've got an interesting car, you might end up parking next to some that are like it. And then you wander around and you spot all the other cars where you drive around.
You go as a group.
Yeah.
But, you know, back in the cruise day, I think you'd probably go as like a car park group.
Yeah.
So you would just
so you're already an eclectic group before you even turn up.
And you all park up and there's just this amazing variation. And, you know, you don't get
those silos of different vehicles.
You know, you would get people who were goth.
Yeah.
You know, and their cars reflect, they were kind of more hot roddy, rat roddy and stuff like that. You get people who are a bit more metal and stuff like that, and maybe they would be a bit in sort of the different area of hot rodding. And you'd get like people who were, you know, more sort of Manchester scene and stuff like that, or Essex scene.
Yeah.
And you'd get that, but it wouldn't be like
so well defined. I would.
I'm blue, you're red. Here's a line. We don't cross it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe losing cruises to a large extent. Maybe that's why they were so brill.
Yeah.
Maybe they changed everything after that. I don't know.
True.
Maybe we need more of that, and maybe we're getting a bit too.
We're post cruise, and it's
too
not a good
tribalistic.
thing. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's all be friends.
Let's all be friends. I think that was brilliant. We haven't solved anything, and I think we've got a lot of it out in the open.
Started a turf war of a local car cruise.
It's true, very possibly.
Just spreading the name for them. Sell a few more lanyards.
Yeah,
like
it's like
Why not?
no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Become notorious. Gas Monkey Garage and all that.
Yeah.
Right.
Although they actually
Rich
built
Rollins. They've had their fair share of controversy.
Oh yeah. Right. True. Right. That's a good one, that is.
That's belter.
In the bag.
In the take, in the can.
I'm glad we put some lights on in shed. It's dark out. This is it now, you see. 20 to 7, and that's it.
Different times.
Dark, different times.
Just need that wood burner.
Otherwise known as the autumn.
Right,
well,
let's get inside.
Yeah, let's get inside, get another brew.
Get some scram.
Warm up, get some scram. See you next time,
Bye.
listeners. Bye!